So look, two ghosts walk into a studio, right? That's it. That's the intro.
If it's trouble and we shooting, it's troubleshooting.
These distorted keys are fire.
Struggling with drug use.
That's a bar.
Throwing all these subs with that make you subhuman. This music submachine gun use. Enough with the canoodling. Blow your noodles on your beautiful drip. This is horse and bull. You should Google it.
Alright, rhyme scheme. Alright.
Language is another matrix. Screw your baby mother like some Cartier love bracelets. Hermes blankets.
That's fire. That's fire. Well, rappers be getting too rich for my blood, man. I don't be catching all the references, but yeah, the screw-on bracelets. Come on, man.
Just left the body to rot in the woods. Trying to be Hollywood. Forgot David knocked out Suge.
That's tough.
Out of Hollywood. Gotta keep a shotty nearby when you potty or do karate good. If not, you should not be in the hood.
Hey, this nigga's a master when it comes to word. And whatever that line was when he said, you better know karate or keep the shotty near or else don't come in the hood, that line was tough. It's interesting how dark and eerie they chose to open an album. The beat was a combination of dark but also felt really spacey at the same time. I think the most intriguing part of that sample was definitely the keys. I mean, there was so much reverb and effect on them that it really didn't even sound like keys. It sounds somewhat like a radar, which added to that whole spacey vibe. Roc Marciano's rapping was dope. A lot of punchlines in that first verse. That second verse was dope as well. He kept the same rhyme scheme that whole second verse too, which was a nice little touch. Let's get into Daddy Kane.
Like Big Daddy Kane.
It's like a clash of Alchemist signature style, but that sim definitely has a real strong old school vibe. Clever little nod to the name of the song too.
Off that soft white long before shorties was rocking off white. Watercolor like ice, I call it Walter White. Walk with me like a dog might. I got 44 bulldogs, you ain't got a dog in a fight.
So he's using a 3-syllable rhyme scheme at the end of his bars, but I like how he's playing with both the main sounds in that 3-syllable, the dog sound and then the white sound throughout the whole verse. When you listen, watch out for those sounds and you'll see how clever this nigga is.
Every bitch wearing cheetah ain't a cheetah and you ain't a boss till you take a loss, that's a loss leader. Picked off your leader, blood, I heard he lost a leader. You tossing Nina out the Porsche too.
A lot of subtle word plays, the leader bar. I like the you ain't got a dog in the fight 4-4 bulldog line earlier.
Your coat, that go from straight up host to fake woke. I'm no dating coach, I don't fly on the plane coach.
He switched the rhyme scheme, this one's dope too.
Y'all don't know me. I might pull out the coyote in Wyoming. Supply the homies with that rock, John Bon Jovi. And when I drop, I better only see fire emojis. I'm with the drama, conflict, diamonds inside the rollie.
That's so ignorant.
I peel my classic battle like eagle first snake, dragon first leopard. Cannons blasting out the Lexus with the left hand. Made him flip like Sunni Lee.
I really appreciate the technical rapping from Roc Marciano, which I touched on throughout that verse. I don't think that beat from Alchemist was crazy, especially on his standards. I do appreciate the aesthetic that it's building. Action Bronson was pretty technically sound with his verse. He had pretty good rhyme schemes. Maybe I ain't in no jokey move. He said a whole bunch of outlandish stuff. I ain't really laughing, none of it. Whatever. It was pretty decent though. This is Deja Vu.
The same thing that created the tree created me.
The keys and the bass line have two completely different vibes to them. It's finna be an eclectic beat.
Say to assume that I had a breakthrough. I made reservations for two. Might feed your label to my dog like table food. These niggas the same, they all interchangeable. Different days, same shit, kid, I'm having deja vu. The snake got two faces like a Gemini. I'm way too player to not womanize.
That's some clever, subtle wordplay. He was talking about everybody sound the same, and then he made it play into the next line where he was talking about the snake got two heads like a Gemini.
Everything I said in the rhyme is sex being weaponized. Underneath cover like it's espionage.
Talk that pimp ish.
Cold prices. Sacrifice to go this lifeless. Ho said the homie gaslighting, that's what she told the psychic. I was just gassing that old white bitch.
That's a double entendre. That definitely plays into the last Coca lines when he said I was gassing that white chick.
Crest on the Gucci knit embroidered in my 40s. I'm still looking boyish. What's inevitable can't be avoided.
This rhyme's getting crazy.
Disappointed, the snitch pointed.
Where in the world did this vocals come from? This is what I'm saying. The bass line that's playing now was the same bass line at the very beginning of the song. It's just these keys were front and center because they were so eclectic and off kilter. And now the smooth bass line is moving into these smooth vocals too. This is a creative beat.
In the toilet. No G's to give us pointers. We've been in corners, shorty could have been on the Hornets, knocking down 3-pointers.
So that's the brilliance of Alchemist when it comes to sampling. Those had to be two completely different samples. If those were the same sample, I'm about to delete this channel. No, I'm just planning on not doing that. But the two samples seemed like they were taken from songs with two completely different tempos. And it didn't seem like he matched the tempos. The way that he looped it, it fit with this bass line that was more of this slow, smooth jazz. And then the keys were this up-tempo, free-flowing jazz. Roc Marciano was spitting. Let's get into Quantum Leap. Oh, nah, these keys are fire.
Yo, your favorite rappers send fan mail to me. Your little LP ain't worth 12 pennies. 17 shells in the semi. That's the same iron and burnt penny.
That's the same iron that burnt penny. It's fire.
Pretty bitch with some perky titties. I heard your cheese tighter than Virgin Kitty. But that's besides the point. If I point, you gon' catch a hollow point. Your product of choice, God got moist. You seen the light at the end of the tunnel. Try me, I will be delighted to pop your bubble.
He putting on a clinic with the internal rhymes, man. Most of the time, he has a completely different rhyme scheme going on in the beginning of the bar than he does at the end of the bar. Here's another example of it.
Couple in the thigh muscle. I chuckled. You know my body, quality over quantity. He couldn't possibly made another quantum leap. Top of the heap, ask my colleagues. You just trying to get by like Talib Kweli.
Hey, that's so far. Get by is a banger too.
Where I'm from, if you were unknown, you better come with a pole. Live by the codes, niggas uphold. I got no love for hoes.
Bro, I feel like a lot of rappers kind of rely on rapping in double time to pull off some really dope flows. He's relying purely on how he can structure his rhyme schemes. He doesn't need to use a lot of syllables in order to pull off really good flows too. Nigga can rap.
I made murder sexy. Might catch me in the F430 with a dirty Pepsi. Look how early she turned messy. Topsy-turvy, put in work on them job turkeys.
See what I'm saying with the internal rhymes? He played with that dirty 30 sound in the internal rhymes for the first two bars, and then he ended the second two bars with it.
I'm at the house snickering, counting chicken. It's sickening. I whipped a brick, now it's submissive.
More doing BDSM with the code. Hey, I'm rocking with that track heavy. The rapping was a rap clinic with just how creative the rhyme schemes were. And then the wording was equally creative. Those just does not waste syllables at all. And I like how he can inject humor really easily into the line. Like when he said, "Poppy in your thigh muscle," dramatic pause, and he said, "Then I chuckle." Like that's just pure charisma right there. The beat was sick to me. It was like jazz rap, but on acid. With how groovy this sample was, but how airy it felt at the same time. I also like how textured that sample was with the keys, the main thing driving the sample, plus those vocals, and then the horn crept into. Dope song. It's the title track, Elephant Man Bones.
It's food for the spirit. The music is endearing. I'm sharing the human experience.
These keys are
Came
endearing.
up on dudes like a balloon filled with helium. Scooped up a cool cerulean. Similar, I'm slicker. I bag a bitch. She look like India loving a Mazda Millennium. Female cop used to pop a butt with the Billy Club. Facts. For all my niggas.
The Billy Club line is insane. And now because he had that whipping the coat, making submissive line, and now he got the Billy Club line. Now I got that scene from Players Club in my head. Y'all know which one too.
Pain got pain in it. I came in the entertainment business with this. Can't trust no bitch, she just trying to bang a favorite musician. Like I ain't got feelings. Got wounds, not even the doctor can heal it. I'm ashamed, mama, I'm high from the mirror. Like a vampire, my nigga. But I ain't got forever.
Another really solid track. I really love the keys on that song. They were gorgeous. I'm like completely hooked on this spacey aesthetic. The Alchemist album that it reminds me of the most is the Haram album with how airy everything felt there. And I probably wouldn't have predicted that Roc Marciano would have had a similar aesthetic to Arm & Hammer. Roc's rapping was really smooth on here. I really like that second verse. He got into some introspection, and the way that he just worded and his imagery, talking about his mind running away from the mirror. He had a Pimp's Hat feeling moment too at the very beginning. Dope rapping, dope song. This is Bubble Bath. This nigga sampled a lullaby.
Yo, got 12 on the tail. Smelling like fish scale. There's always a twist to a swell red film. before we bail, I did a line off my lady titty like Ricky Bell. Baby girl get busy as well. They ain't got shit on me, hell, I may as well be stripping in Chippendales. Naked with nothing but just a Richard Mill.
He is destroying this twist sound alliteration.
I'm rich for real, you just pigeon shit on the windshield. Icy wrist chill on the bench steering wheel.
Still going.
Paint the V12 teal. Bentley's females, Achilles heel. Inside my mind is a diamond mine. This is a homicide. Took it to trial, beat it like Amistad. Ask my top 5, but I reply me.
That's fire. Y'all read a history book, man. That line was fire. Don't read no history book. Look it up on Wikipedia.
After the songs, I wash my ears peroxide with a cotton swab. Now I want an ear, not a rise cloud.
Nice playing with that odd sound alliteration.
They ain't hide us on stage like a psyop. You ain't never slide on an op with fire.
Alright, Alchemist hit us with the Rockabye Baby type beat, but I was rocking with it though. Rock also, hold on, man. I'm getting to some wordplay. The Rockabye Baby rock. Never mind. So I'm impressed when he gets into these alliterations, which is when you're not necessarily rhyming word, but you're focused on a particular sound. And he was doing that all throughout the middle of his bars. And he had a 3-syllable rhyme scheme at the end of every bar. And I get it that because these are really uncommon things when it comes to rapping. They're difficult to do. And he's just showing how much of a master he is when it comes to lyricism. Tough verse. I like the slick gun lines and the slick brags laced throughout the verse as well. The nigga's just up here when it comes to rapping. He's just up here. Everybody else is down here. This is Liquid Coke.
Bleed liquid coke when I slit your throat. Fishing pole broke. I was reeling in a rich hoe. If she flippin', just let that bitch go. Dish from smoke, made business slow. Got crazy women, so I know when niggas is feminine. You never check my temperature on the internet. Empty threats from a jealous ex, she need medicine for It's not a catch-22, this a tech 22. Need to get money crew.
That's tough.
Put you dudes up in the hospital bedroom. I bet your legs won't move. Wine school, you ain't learned social cues. Excuse me if I'm opening wounds. Expensive clothes won't soothe.
Alright, more clever brass from Roc Marciano, all within some even more clever rhyme schemes. I'm also really impressed with how he links one rhyme scheme to the next, where he may borrow a syllable from the first rhyme scheme into the next, or he may take the internal rhyme from one, put it in the next rhyme scheme at the end of it. I like the variability and the unpredictability. You're not just getting a regular throw an internal rhyme in there with a 3-syllable rhyme at the end. Then on the production side, that sample had what I think is a horn with just a ton of reverb on it. Let's get in a trillion cut with Boldy James.
My double cup forever day. My hands never was clean. Me and G on Stockwell, filthy as Rockwell. Turn the eye on high, fresh out of dry spill. Pop it twice, then drop it in the pot like some oxtail. Then you add the cold water with the ice cube. Tassing niggas on the split, I want the high tools. Before I ever touched the bean, I was serving food. 1,000 grams of cut with morphine, that's my current move.
This nigga's drugs talking is on another level.
Niggas swear they can't be touched. Till the jammy bust, fuck your little fantasy up. We was wearing champion, but they never championed us. Outcast, I don't even give my family a hug. They say home
That's
is
tough.
where the heart is. But where's your home when you heartless? I'm just being wholehearted. I need the AR with the shoulder harness on it.
That hard wordplay
being
is
cold-hearted.
fire.
All I know is the ardent. The snow to
His
my
rhyme
apartment.
scheme
The
is
sofa was
crazy.
hard as a park bench, but even while starving, I wouldn't beg your pardon. Copped a new watch, I'm on suicide watch.
Oh my goodness. Oh, the layers of this wordplay. So he started with home is where the heart is. Hang on to that. He circled back to that. But he played with the hard wordplay for a minute. Then he goes from home to snowed in my apartment. Then he's talking about how his couch is as hard as a park bench, which is playing off of like homeless imagery. Home, apartment, homeless. And then he said, I wouldn't beg your pardon. Homeless begging.
Copped a new watch, I'm on suicide watch. A train cuts like I'm trying to die.
That's fire.
Step on the product
That's
and
fire.
let slide. We could never share a common bond. My pops had tracks in his arms from heroin. This is rap meets Gil Scott heroin.
See, now he took the trillion cuts diamond playing into the cuts on his dad arm. Then he playing that the heroin to the Jill Scott heroin. Come on, man.
Gotti Veron, the leather in the car was eggnog. The vest I wore was Kevlar.
Man, I love Boldy, but Roc Marciano rapped him out the building. Man, I already had it premeditated in my head how I was going to say, oh, Alchemist and Boldy picked up right where they left off on their last mixtape. They did pick up right where they left off. The drug talk was fire. But Roc Marciano was on a whole nother level. The entendres, the wordplay, how all the wordplay linked together, how it all linked to the title of the song. Bro, if you left a comment on any of my videos talking about who you got in your top 5, I'm pretty sure I counted with Roc Marciano. This is why. The nigga's different. This is Horns of Abraxas. Why is Ice-T on this song?
Heads and tails, death or jail. The road to success was hell. With the bones of the dead soldiers, we left a trail. Your soul just left a shell.
Hey, it's real subtle, but I like how he's leaving space in his delivery. He's rapping around this run on the drums.
Slide on him, hit him up style, blue can trail, you can't tell.
That's fire.
Final level like ice, it's a zeitgeist. I bet Red Mike and Nike. Put out your lights like you got hit by Iron Mike with the right. I'm just on the mic exercising my rights. I fantasize about a fantasy. I'm standing over your dead parents, fanning fly.
Yeah, I don't even want to repeat that. I think that's the grimiest bar on the whole album so far.
The cardiologists can't hit my heart. I'm dark. Did a lot of robberies in the Skylark. Left tire marks.
Look, I thought the chance of Ice-T spitting the verse was scary, but Roc Marciano spitting that twisted verse was scary enough. The way that Alchemist used the drums gave this song a really unsettling feeling. The drums normally set the tempo of this song, but they never settle because it was just using a rum. It was basically like the drums were part of the harmony in a sense, as opposed to as part of the bass. And then Roc Marciano played right into it. His verse started slow and methodical, and he picked up the energy of his verse as he crept into that second half. And then the content just got more and more twisted. He's really playing into his Elephant Man's Bone theme. It's going hand in hand with these samples we're just talking about, like how twisted the Elephant Man's mind was. You know, twisted in a different sense. This is JJ Flash.
Just imagine if.
Love this sample.
If I didn't have this gift, I'd probably be rapping bricks.
Probably.
I'd actually have to go back and pimp. No more knocking raps over like bowling pins. I'm balling hole, playing over the rim, money rolling in, can't even fold the shit.
Almost every syllable of this is
blitz, it ain't for showmanship. Bipolar with the stick, rover with no tent. We look like some goldfish, but the homie don't even swim.
Bro, how the rhyme scheme's getting crazier? This nigga's on one.
G-Wagon Brabus with the run flats. Spun on them, got blood on the mud flaps. I had to get a truck, a bubble bath. No brush or scrub was done in the past. Got smudges on the glass. The rubber gloves come in a pack.
Hey, the imagery of that, getting blood on the mud flaps, washing the car off. Even get down to the details of the gloves, that's fire.
Drama we once had, it wasn't patched. Keep a spare in the trunk for that with the jack. Lift you up a tad. Brung the axe, but I'm not.
Another double entendre. You're talking about what's in the back of the trunk will lift you up. And it kind of plays off the previous line we talking about washing the car.
Your brain splatter all on the truck and hat. Pushing drugs, we can have a shoving match, but we not hustling packs. Crash.
Pushing drugs, we can have a shoving match. That's fire.
And then run it back without a pass. We might have to try to flee the country like Jumpin' Jack Flash.
Boy, this was sports. Roc Marciano would have got drug tested expeditiously. He would have got drug tested before he stepped out of the booth. Dog, when you getting this technical when it comes to the rhyme scheme, you're not supposed to be able to string together this clever wordplay. And then he got so much control of the pacing of his verse to be in the middle of such a grimy and descriptive verse, and then being able to slip in a funny one-liner like pushing drugs, we can have a shoving match in the middle of it. Dog. This is Zig Zag Zig.
My Mont Blanc pen, of course, you limp. It's on again. We often throwing caution to the wind. It's always a whim. I barely put any thought in, but can no longer afford to move lawless, cause I'm very important.
Bro, I'm just trying to communicate to y'all that this is not regular. Those first couple of bars, he was switching back and forth between the 3 and the 4 syllable rhyme scheme, but the 3 syllable used 3 out of the 4 syllables of the 4 syllable. Now this rhyme scheme got 2 of the syllables from the previous rhyme scheme. This is not normal, dog.
My merch is worn by bosses. This the perfect storm, try not to get caught in. It's pouring, $250,000 jewels, Flash Gordon. Rap the foreign, rap like water, it's formless. Yeah, we
That's
still
fire.
back.
That's fire.
Crashing vehicles, the regal break through the glass in the cathedrals. Squeeze the desert eagle like Kegels. Only certain people could bend the teaspoon. They wish they had the tenacity to get at me. I'm trigger happy. Quit playing with a shit'll get nasty. I defy gravity, higher than giraffe pussy. Dracula bit me, I didn't bleed. My enemies,
So he wrote that rhyme for niggas like me who ain't going to every rhyme scheme. Doom used to do this too, where because of he's using a particular rhyme scheme, he'll break the rhyme scheme to say something that's jarring. He was rhyming almost every single syllable in his rhyme scheme, and he completely broke it to say giraffe pussy, which he didn't even use in the next rhyme scheme. Then the next line goes to Dracula bit me, which kind of fits into the rhyme scheme. And then he does it a second time where he says I didn't bleed, which doesn't go with any of the rhyme scheme up to that point. He does say that for the next few bars, but bruh.
Female walls felt warm like analog. I'm an animal dog, handle you like I'm above man law.
I think the rapping on this album started on 10, but then with the second half of the album, it's like it hit a whole nother gear. And then to have this level of acrobatics, still be able to mix in humor and wordplay, and also not coming off as lyrical miracle. Tough beat from Alchemist too. The reverby keys kind of playing as a bass line, and then the arpeggiating keys on top of it. This is Stigmata.
You said I'm that nigga. What you figured I bought in and my head got big. Peep what you did, but that shit ain't knocked me off my square.
This beat is groovy. Some of these samples kind of remind me of Rosebud's Revenge with all the funk influence.
Ice necklace for every shedded tear, had to flood to protect man. I done wet my fair share, this is chandelier on my left hand.
I love the water wordplay right now.
I stepped on the grams, the only thing missing was the hammer pants. Can't touch this.
Tough.
Fix your wagon kid, I'm a handyman. Apparently I'm mechanically advanced, minus the hair transplants. At first glance they thought my band was Duran Duran, but why I ran? No man can check me, I'm like Durant. Got tramps like I ran the bunny ranch.
No man can check me, I'm like Durant, that's tough.
We was just shooting the breeze, going through the routine like two teens playing Call of Duty, but all of these is real tunes. Booty, denim 2 jeans, goofy, these ain't nudie jeans.
Bro.
My dookie don't even stink, might leave you with your team, baby. Front page of the news reads Houdini escapes. Free from chains. Jesus,
Spazzing with that last rhyme scheme.
Freezing rain, over these freaks I've been giving free reign.
Dawg, that sample was buttery, and he spazzed out on the rapping again. A tough song, just still finding these new ways to manipulate these syllables. This is Zip Gun.
After the chain of events, where your chain went. Gotta watch the ladies you laying with. Nigga been had flavor kid, but I ain't a lick. Taste this shit, this ain't no cake mix.
Been had flavor, I ain't a lick. Takes this cake mix, that's fire.
Drive-bys in the Pontiac, body snatch. For the same price it costs wifey to get a body snatch. Pistol whipping for shits and giggles. Knock the jib loose, leave you without a tooth to nibble. No food, only soup on the menu. My dude on the roof, he ain't bring a fiddle. The feds might have bugged the rental, we speaking riddles.
Come on, dog. The wording and how he's putting these phrases together is crazy.
All my niggas sliders, leaning like they got that drink inside us on that demon time like them pinky blinders. We the gospel worth of BB and CC whiners. Them OGs dripping in designer, moving brick T with the 9 inside the army lining. Stop that circle from shining. We took his head, it was all perfect timing.
Hey, good versatile knowledge. He in good company with Boldy James and Action Bronson on the list of niggas who got rapped out the building by Roc Marciano on this album. Niggas just rapping, he just rapping on a different level right now. He got the Goku killer instinct right now. He just rapping at a level where he can do what he want. Every single line is either some kind of witty punch, some really descriptive bar, a really clever way of wording something. I love this beat too. This is one of my favorite beats on the latter half of the album. The drums are really crisp, kind of felt like a more vintage Alchemist beat. It still kept the aesthetic of the album, but it's been fairly drumless so far, and this was a good switch up, give it some variety. This is Think Big.
That shade too many gray areas, the game ain't no Dane to be marrying. Crazy old lady scandalous, late on the train rambling, always saying some randomness. Don't get your place ran up in, lately I'm playing with paper like I'm Blake Carrington. My fashion sense is that of a pimp, scallops and bad as shrimp. Tear up a rapper like some bad kids, raveling gifts. Move the gang of bass, but we not talking no 808s. Nope. Definitely in my bag, but this ain't no potato sack race. I'm laughing to the bank, except I
He in his bag like a potato sack race.
ain't no half stepping like Daddy Kane. Stepped on the cane, but now that's bad yay. It came out the microwave beige like Shane Battier. This my lane, they got daddy DNA. The battery in your back may need to be changed, but the fabric can't be replaced.
Ugh, more heat. It's probably the most rapid fire his rhyme schemes and his flows being on this album. Alchemist mellowed out the instrumental and just let Roc cook. Overall, I gotta say this album didn't disappoint. Roc Marciano's on another level. This nigga's an alien. This nigga's not human. The rapping here was OD. I think he was spazzing out on the beginning of the album, but then he just turned the switch on the second half. The wordplay got more intricate and the rhymes got more intricate as well. Alchemist, I think he hit a switch halfway through the album as well. I thought a couple of the beats in the beginning of the album were just okay. There was nothing wrong with them technically speaking, but it's like they just had one gear to them. It was like he was building out the atmosphere of the album in the first half of it and really capitalizing on it on the second half of the album. Features were fine, but Roc Marci was clearly the star of the show here. But overall, really clean track list, fire rapping, great production. This one is tough.